Welcome back to Look Up Garage, and I'm back to work on the 93 Cobra. A bunch of you guys had asked about what this car was in the background of some of the videos. If you go back and watch some of my older content, you'll see where I started on this. I did a walk around and I started working on this quarter panel because this thing was demolished. It probably should have had a quarter panel. I knew I was going to need to replace this door, and well, I finally was able to find a decent door for the car, and that's what I've got here in front of me. This is a used door off of probably a late 80s LX Mustang. The molding that's on this won't necessarily work for the Cobra. We're going to reuse the door molding. We will reuse his mirror after we clean it up and paint it. I'm going to get new belt moldings. All the rubber and stuff inside of this door is going to be replaced. So everything is going to come out of this door. The glass, the mirror, the handle, all the regulator wiring, all that stuff comes out. So I get it to a bare shell. Well, because it makes it lighter to hang on the car and figure out my gaps and my contours over here on the quarter panel. But also because I need to paint the inside of this teal to match the car. So that's what I'm going to be working on today, is getting this tore down, getting it ready to go onto the car. And if I've got enough time in this video, I might have to take the fender off in order to get this door off and hang the new door on. That's kind of my goal, is to get this on the car in this video. So I'm going to grab some tools, grab some gloves, because this thing is filthy. We're going to get this thing tore down and see if we can get it on the car. The donor door is now stripped down. I went ahead and left the latch in here and the handle on the outside, handle on the inside, just to make it a little easier to open and close this door once we get it on the car. I'm going to have to get in here and get this door torn apart very carefully. I want to take this door panel off, or door card, whatever you want to call it. Very carefully want to get this off of there and preserve it. The mat pocket is already sagging, but I still want to make sure that I don't mess this up because it's the original door panel. It's in really good shape. I don't want to damage it any more than it already is. So when I go to hang that door, the striker is still in its original spot. And when I put the new door on, it's going to engage to the striker with the latch, and it'll let me know how much more work I need to do on this jamb before I can move backward onto the quarter panel. There's a pretty good little crease right here in the corner of the jamb, and in theory, this could have affected the way the striker is situated on the body. So this area here, I believe, is okay, but it's just right here on the corner of the quarter. That's what hanging the new door is going to tell me, how far off that is. I'm going to get the tripod out and start tearing down this door. Wish me luck. right, that vapor barrier came off just fine once you cut it off. There's nothing for it to really hang on to. I got some of the harness out. I went ahead and took out the door lock actuator just to be able to pull that harness back through that hole. And I went ahead and took out the door glass and the window regulator just to get all that stuff out, put the door glass back in the car. It fought me a little bit because it caught on this dew wipe right here. The rivet that actually holds the glass to the mechanism that goes up and down, like backed out through a plastic washer. And that's what caught it. That's what kept grabbing. I couldn't see what it was because it was on the bottom side of that lip right there. That's what fought me getting the door glass out. Now, the next battle I'm going to have is getting the harness out of the door. I can pull the harness from the car to the door. There's 3 or 4 plugs down here that go to it. The problem I have is those plugs are now being blocked by this piece of insulation that's right here above the computer. For you Fox Body guys, you know how much fun that is. Usually we just grab it and yank it until the plastic on the insulation kind of gives way, but there is a clip way up here behind the dash. I'll get that clip out, and then I'm going to unplug these wires, back feed them through the door jamb into the door, and then get this harness out of the way. That's the first battle that I'm going to face. This is the next battle. For those of you that have ever had a Fox Body door off, 99 times out of 100, it's easier to take the door off when you have the fender off. And I'm going to be dealing with a fender that has obvious rust on it. These fenders are attached to the front bumper through a couple of brackets. There's one up here at the top, one at the bottom that kind of holds this fairing to the bumper, and then one that holds the bumper to the fender. There's studs that come through the back side of that bumper that go through the fender. There's nuts on the back side. Those things on a car this old with this corrosion already showing, I'm going to bet they're going to break off. There's almost no way to get them out. The second problem, if they don't break, the nut, the stud that actually comes from the bumper side of the bracket and goes through, will probably spin off in the fiberglass of the header panel that attaches back here and cause me a huge problem, because then I won't be able to get it off. It's sandwiched between the fender, and that's when I get out cutting tools and go up from the bottom and start cutting those studs and nuts off of the car. The next problem I'm going to have is getting the rocker panel off, because this piece of trim that's attached to the fender also attaches to the rocker panel. Then I got the windshield trim that needs to come off. Of course, the antenna, which that's easy. Okay, in theory, it's easy. It just unplugs back here. And then there's 3 bolts up here at the top. They come off. A couple down here in the door jamb. It's not too hard to get one of these fenders off if the bumper and the lower piece of the bumper, if all of these trim pieces play nicely, I'll have the fender off pretty quick. If they don't, and I have to get in here and get after it, this is going to be probably like a 2-hour ordeal to get the fender off. Wish me luck. I'm going to slide the jack under the car, put this up on a jack stand, probably pull the wheel, and then I can put it on the right side of the car or the left side where it goes. And then I can pull the wheel liner and just get after this thing. And just like that, the fender is off.
Everything went pretty smooth. I had one little screw down here on the rocker panel that goes into the fender, throw me for a loop. Other than that, all of the bolts came out really good. Nothing stripped out. These studs that go into the header panel didn't spin, which is a miracle because they always do when they're on these older cars, especially with, you know, a little bit of surface rust that you see on this car. I did find a massive mouse nest up here in this upper rail. It was jam-packed full of insulation and soybean and all kinds of stuff. This other little tunnel that you see here, that's the drain for the cow, so I'll need to come in from the back side of the cow and just clean out all of that with the vacuum. I did find the seam sealer up here at the top of the cow where it meets this upper rail is starting to come apart. Pretty common on these. It just dries out and separates from the panel. There's a little bit of surface rust and stuff. We'll get that all cleaned up. I'll put in some new seam sealer, and then I'm going to find out from the owner what he wants me to do about this rust. If he wants me to go ahead and put some rust converter on it and then throw some primer, maybe we'll paint this area out here while it's being painted. I don't know what his plans are for suspension and stuff, if I need to tape all that off. I do know that over on the driver's side, I've got a little bit of rust I need to fix in the strut tower. This side, there's some scaly stuff in here, but I think I can clean it out and make it look better. I just want to find out if he wants me to like put a truck bed liner style material on this, or if we just want to do paint. All right, now for the main event on why I was even out here. 6 bolts is all that's left holding the door on. I'm going to throw you guys on the tripod, grab the impact, knock those out, and get that door off. I'm not sure what happened, but I lost my time-lapse footage of me putting the new door on. With a Fox Body door, when you have all the stuff out of it and it gets a little lighter, it's not too hard to put one of these on by yourself. Before you take your old door off, just take a Sharpie, trace out your hinges up here in the front, get that old door out of the way. When you put the new door on, I find it's easier just to go ahead and get it on the striker, let it latch back there to support the door, and then you just need to get your hinges within the outline that you drew. You put your bolts back in. We can finalize the alignment of this later on. I grabbed a paint pen just to mark some of the damage that I saw on the door. We got a little rub up here in the front, a ding here, and some deep scratches across the top. The big thing that I'm going to have to fix before I can start on my quarter panel repair, other than getting this aligned to the car, down here at the bottom of the door, it looks like somebody dropped the door at some point. Now, if it was me, I would tell you guys that I dropped the door and I need to fix it. It wasn't me. It was like that when I bought it. It's just what happens when you get used parts sometimes. But that's really not too big of a deal because the original door, which I've got laying over here, is okay in that area. I can make a template based on that door, and then I can also compare it to the 93 Cobra, which is behind you guys. The doors on that car are perfect. Between those two doors, I can get my template lined out, and then I can fix that door, basically just roll that edge back until my contour and my curve are where they need to be. The next thing that I need to do is get this plastic edge guard off, because that is going to affect the distance of my gap between my door and my quarter panel. Once all those things are done, then I can start the quarter panel repair, or actually finish it, because I've just done some rough pulls on it. Now, you guys may see somebody come in and help me with this quarter panel. A guy that bought one of the project cars kind of saw where I was in the process and said, hey, I'll come help you fix that quarter panel if you knock a little bit of money off that project car. I said, okay, cool. So we did a handshake deal on that. I don't know if he's going to be cool with me recording the process. We'll see once he gets here. I'm hoping that he is. We'll see how that plays out. Otherwise, you guys might just see that kind of in primer and ready to go from there. So that'll definitely be in a future episode of Gloved Up Garage. If this is stuff that you like to see, you like to watch Fox Body content, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below. Hit that bell icon next to it to be notified when I upload new videos. Because I've got a lot more videos that are going to be coming on this car, and definitely more frequent than they have been in the past. So thank you all so much for your positive comments. Thank you for your support. And remember to stay gloved up.